Ron. So let's go, Pavlo. I will not introduce you because we know you. Something wrong with my Zoom conference, actually, with internet access. But right now, it's so good.
All right. So give me a second.
Okay.
Please confirm you see my presentation.
We will see, but not
Mhm.
sharing. Yes. Just let's check the second slide, please. Yes, yes, it's working. Okay. Thank
Good.
you. I turn off the mic.
All right. Good morning, maybe for someone. Good afternoon. Good evening. Today I have a conversation with my colleague from Australia. They have already 6 of the evening, 6 hours ago. So we are pretty distributed across the globe. And today we have an second session, my second session with this program, and it's related. And the name of the session is evaluation of AI for venture potential. Uh, Again, I'm excited to be here with you today, and we dive into probably one of the most dynamic and rapidly evolving sectors in the global economy. And whether you a trainer or tutor or teacher for future entrepreneurs, almost all students dreaming about becoming.
Взагалі ніяко.
Sorry, someone did not mute your microphone, please.
It's okay. I will follow after this. Just if it's happened, just stop on few seconds and then repeat because I will turn off such people. Do not worry.
All right. Can I continue?
Yes, sorry.
All right. All right. And today's session will equip you, I hope will equip you with a useful practical frameworks, real world insights, examples, or maybe jokes or anecdotes, if you mind, as an actionable tool that you can immediately apply in your teacher or training programs. The key points for today, we tried to fit in a 60 minutes because last time I was really out of time frame. I tried to focus it on slide content and do not, let's say, discuss something around. We blend theory and practical application, no heavy technical jargon as the previous time. We focus mostly on the business fundamentals with AI specific considerations. Of course, we leave this framework with you, and you can reuse it for your own training programs. And as a previous time, I would like to have a short vote. Daria, please help me with it. The question is simple: are you ever search for funds? Are you ever raise the funds? Are you ever invest by yourself? So 3 options. Do you try to earn the round? Do you already probably have success with earning the round? Or maybe you even invest by yourself? 3 simple questions.
Just I'm not yes, we have. Just wait a minute.
Yes.
One more question.
One more time. Are you search for investment? Are you searching for round? Second option, I am already earned some round or I got the investment. And third one, I invest myself or my company already invest in something. You
I'm
can
ready
use it in
investment. I'm ready investment. I invest myself. I invest myself. And the first one,
And
I
the first
invest
one, I'm searching for round.
I'm searching. And I'm
I'm
searching.
searching, I already got the round, or I invest myself.
And the question, do you search? Do you
All right, keep it simple. Keep in
Do you,
I'm
you see,
searching for investment. Second,
it is the answers. What about question?
this is a question actually. I would like to know. Maybe audience already have a positive or negative experience with the investment. Maybe someone invest by themselves.
Okay, okay. I just try to develop the question.
All right. While you doing this,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
will continue. Okay, just to not waste the time. And let's start by looking at our roadmap for today. And we have a lot of to cover, as I said. But I tried to structure it to build your knowledge more, let's say, progressively. So here is our journey for next, I hope, 60 minutes. I've organized the session into several main sessions that build upon each other, moving from a market understanding to a practical evaluation tool. So first section would be a market context. We need to understand the playing field before we can evaluate the players. Second stage, evaluation framework with the core tools that you can use to assess any AI venture. Third block for global scaling and case studies like real world application and success or even fail stories. Section 4, risk management and resources, how to protect investment and continue education. So, looking at this agenda, which section you are probably most interested? Of course, you cannot skip this live presentation, but if you see this presentation in the recording, you can switch. And let's dive right to the current state of AI venture landscape, and numbers might surprise you. So we are living in a through what we may consider as the next or another one greatest technological revolution since the internet. Probably someone named this changes or a huge paradigm shift right now with AI tools and machine learning and the resources and the outputs that they produce. It's we can compare it with the internet. And AI has moved from science fiction or specifically academic stuff to a business reality. And the investment numbers reflect this transformation. Some key statistics to mention: AI now projects. I mean, AI projects and investment in AI is number one sector of the global venture funding. Probably worth to mention what is a venture investment. It's a professional investors, companies that professionally invest on early stage as earlier as possible to have a multiply their investment in 10 times, 100 times, 10,000 times. It depends how lucky the company, I mean venture company. So they do not interested and they do not, let's say, build product for you. You should to build product for them, and they give you money for that to reach your goals. And over 30% of overall capital right now flows to AI-based company or in AI-enabled companies. And again, under AI, we mean everything related data science, machine learning, and everything in between. Different part of satellite disciplines between data science and machine learning. And this represents a fundamental shift in how investors view technology opportunities. And there is a short anecdote inside the industry. Just 5 years ago, if you mentioned AI startup for most inventors, they think about very niche, very unique academic projects. Today, every major VC means venture capitalist firms, has an AI specialist and stuff. So it's not about academic. It's someone who work close with them and their own teams. And recently I spoke with some of VC representatives, and they told now they evaluate the traditional software companies by asking, why aren't you using AI? Not how to use this AI. So we just for 5 years, we shifted from academic stuff to someone who already inside the venture capitalist companies or teams. And let me show you even more specific numbers to demonstrate how massive it is, and which opportunities has become. So the number represented is one of the fastest growing market in the business history. Again, just key statistics: 371 plus billion in growing up to 2.4 trillion in 2023. It's just huge. It's a colossal. And 30% of this funds, so named CIGR, it's a compound annual growth rate, is a financial metric that measures the average annual rate of return on an investment over a period, assuming a consistent annual compounds of returns. So it effectively provides a more smooth rate of return, considering the reinvestment of profits, to show the investment growth as if it grew steadily each year. So for comparison, the entire global smartphone market is about 500 billions annually. So that's mean in about nearly years, just 8 years, we have this number 5 times larger than the smartphones. So with all of that, we understand the investment industry right now, not struggle, but extremely focused on everything that have a label of AI. Of course, it's provide a lot of space or a lot of rooms for speculation, buzzwording, or just repainting the old products that build on if-else or other technologies or rules-based technologies they market. We are AI enabled, and immediately they start to be interested for VC investment. We even have such a joke like fake it till you make it. When companies demonstrate they can do something with help of AI, but actually, in fact, they just develop such stuff and generate the results manually. On our previous lection, I show you example of developer CI companies that have really 1.5 billion of valuation, and in fact, it was hundreds of developers that produce the code that the company introduced as a AI generated code. So it's really huge. And now this growth is global. Is not related only for certain verticals or certain countries or certain business section. It's really global. And let's look where the money actually flowing. So yes.
Pavlo, just stop. We have finished our poll, but actually 50% survived. So participated in survey. I can share results right now or maybe later, as you want.
Yes,
okay.
Let's see it right now.
Let's see.
So I'm searching for investment. Yes, I have. I invest myself. I have. Wow, that's impressive. This is really really impressive, and just 2% searching for investment. That's interesting. It's very interesting numbers. But all right, let's keep it in mind. I try to keep it in mind to give you more examples, more examples related to to this knowledge.
Right. I close this poll. Okay.
Yes. So what we see here, here is the things that get really interesting. We reached 110 billions of AI investment in 2024. There is some prognosis that 2025 will be less, but another prognosis or other predictions do not agree with it. But we'll see in end of the year. But even now, that's 62 more percent than just its growth just for 1 year. To put this in a perspective, there are more money. This amount of money is more than GDP of many countries or even several countries that invested just per year only in one technological sector in AI. And generative AI alone, you probably know or remember, I already explained you, we have an sort of AI that we name um, AIs with a specialization to something, like generate the image, generate the music, generate or do the processing of my text. We are moving to generative AI or Gen AI. That means we are trying to build the machines that have a consciousness. Like they have a real human-like intelligence. And only generative AI alone captured 45 billions, and it's nearly doubling from 24 billion in 2023. So the late stage GI, general AI deals size jumped from 48 millions in average, of course, to 200 plus millions in average. And um, I remember when 100 million funding it's made something uh, huge, or it was on all tabloids or professional portals or newsmarks. Right now, 100 million investment in AI, even on a Series One. Series One, probably everything started from seed round, then Series One, Series Two, Series B, and etc. etc. So each time when company try to raise some additional portion of funds, they name it Series One, Series A, Series B, Series C, etc. So just on Series A, 100 millions of funding has not surprised nobody anymore. And OpenAI recent funding was about 6.6 billions, larger than the most IPOs. So this is not just a hype. Institutional investors are betting their reputations on this AI transformation potential. So right now is a very moment of if you plan to raise the funds for AI projects. It always like wave. We have a rise of demand, then we have a peak, then we have this the not degradation, but decreasing of this interest, and then we have sort of plateau. That means this industry is mature, it's well developed, we know key players, etc. But now we are just on the rise of this curve. All right. Yes, but this investment isn't distributed equally actually around the world. And let's start to see the dominant player. Some of my slides I already informed in advance. It's a little bit not well fit in a template. I share this presentation, of course, after, and all materials will be compiled after the sessions, so you can see the part of the slides that I cannot show you in a slideshow mode. Sorry for that, but yeah, this is it. Let's see the next one, and what we can see. The U.S. United States regional funding, and the United States is absolutely dominates on AI venture capital. U.S. actually is the biggest venture investment companies in the world, and the same actually we have the same traction for AI, and they actually got a 74. It's a massive, it's a major piece of this pie for United States. As you can see, then we have in Europe, then China, and then the rest of the world that we even cannot measure. So US, it's a major investor, and it's roughly from they invest about 81 billion from this 110 billion pie. The Bay Area. Bay Area means Silicon Valley alone invests 60 billions. And New York state at all, or New York City, the state in New York, just 6 millions. You see 10 times difference. It's the same US, but Silicon Valley, all money is there, all capitalists there, all technology, major technology firm is mostly there. So we have this huge disproportion. And this represents the largest unified market for the AI innovation. US, it's a dominant leader, and while US dominates, Europe has its own unique advantages, let's say, in the AI space. And let's take a look what Europe do in this area. So, European AI venture capital is about 12% of total AI VC funding. It's equivalent in about 12.8 or almost 13 billions in the 2024. While smaller than the US, and but Europe brings a unique strengths that smart AI entrepreneurs are leveraging, and we will touch it a bit later. And if you're talking about Europe segmentation, about investment, the London or UK itself, it's the second biggest investors after US. And if we compare the Europe in total, only UK makes more than whole Europe together, all countries in Europe together, and UK is even bigger than that. So only London alone is 3.5 billions, and it grows for 50%. 50% growth per year. It's huge, actually, and it's third largest AI investment hub globally. And in the UK strategy, they do the strong focus on trustworthy AI and ethical applications. We don't see the same approach or same priorities for US-based or China-based investment interest in investments from the venture capitalist side. So what we can see here also, it's a deep tech excellence, strong academic institutions in Europe and the UK as well, and research centers across the Europe fuel this innovation, particularly in AI as well, and multiple of AI hubs that can give to startups needed resources for to start their journey. They can provide the grants, they can provide the accelerators and incubators where they have an access to such resources like legal advisement, labor market, even some grants you can obtain just not for free, but you should to prove your results as a government grants. In the UK, for example, they have a UK innovative program. In Europe, they have multiple programs that can fuel your project. And even if you don't have your own funds for development, and even if you're on a really early stage, like on a prototype stage, you can find the resources how to go further, because investment usually invests to venture investment to someone who already on the market and do some traction, or you should to have extremely unique technology that hard to replicate, and we touch it a bit later, to invest on a seed round. So on the seed stage, you can use the benefits of government programs, and then you can have a much better chance to earn a better seed round. Oh, sorry, better stage round, stage A, B, etc. When you already get the product, when you already get the sales, when you already get the traction from your customer, and of course, all of this initiative have any challenges. Not everything such bright and wonderful. All of this stuff, it's actually goes together with a struggle, with a pain, with the tears, with the losses of money, with the losses of personal or let's say talent, brain drain. European talent continuously migrate to US because they can earn much more. For example, currently developers or specialists with a practical background in AI or data science can have an salaries with six numbers per month. So they can become literally millionaires, dollar millionaires, just in several months or half in a year in the US. European salaries are significantly less, and Europe venture market is not such aggressive as the US one. So a lot of resources, I mean human resources, sorry, I use this word human resources, HR, leak into US. And this is a big problem for Europe and for UK as well. But now let's look for the region where the most potential growth we can expect, and this region is Asia. Asia is a little bit different, comparing, not little bit, significantly different with comparing with the US or Europe market. And uh, actually, it's a sort of wild card, we can name it, in a global AI investment. And while the current funding levels are lower than US and Europe, but the user scale and market potential are enormous. In Asia, we have much more population, much more potential customers of your product than US and Europe together. From business perspective, Asia market is much, much more promising than US and Europe together, and you should keep it in mind or explain it to your students, because we are making this presentation mostly for tutors, for trainers. So keep in mind, Asia is a very, very promising. So um, and government actually, government strategy making AI as a priority for many countries in Pacific and Asia or even Middle East area. I do not mention Middle East here, but they just started. I believe such rich countries like Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and all of these Gulf countries that have an enormous amount of money that based on oil, um, oil profit, they reinvest huge amount of resources for cutting edge technology. And for example, even uh, such closed countries like Saudi Arabia, I have a lot of a long practical experience to work with the Saudi Arabia, comparing with other countries like US and Europe. Saudi Arabia is ruled by king, right? If king decide to do something, they just they just do it. They do not discuss. They don't have a lot of debates, etc. And Saudi king decided, all right, we will build in Saudi Arabia the biggest AI hub. And even now, the Saudi Arabian court system having a special AI tools that help courts, judge, and all this legal system to work with the cases that they face. So the robot judge will arrive probably soon, and first will be based in Saudi Arabia. So this is it. Now, key statistics. China, historically second largest AI investor, and but through 2024, data shows some cooling, some cool down, because before they invest a lot for a project that they already launched. India, the fastest growing AI startup ecosystem in Asia. But from investment perspective, you know it's a pretty different culture, and you cannot earn multi-millions investment in India before you move company from India to someone else country. I don't. I will not explain or discuss why it's happened, but it's just a fact that I know. Next, Japan, the major corporate AI investment. So Japan have their own culture, their own vibe, their own vision. So mostly they invest in a industry AI, in a corporate AI. So everything related to robotics, everything related to huge infrastructural products or projects that's related to corporate AI is a Japan. But together, combined together, Asian markets represent 60% of global internet users. So, as I said again, it's huge. And just an example again from about in Asia, TikTok, TikTok parent company of ByteDance, they sort of cracked the code on Asian AI scaling because they are built for a billion users just from the day one. So they do not try to create the feature that will be used for some group of people, and then when they scale, they start to think how to scale with the auditory. No, they start immediately from the idea we will serve a billions, and their recommendation mechanism process more data daily than the most Western AI companies see in a year. So it's a huge difference. Asian AI startups or Asian projects, AI projects, they have an access to such a bigger amount of data than nobody else in the world can obtain. So this user scale creates unique advantages for them for UI AI model training. And yeah, with all of this investment and opportunity, you probably wonder what we need to be careful about this evaluation. And let's see what we can know about that. First of all, startup fails. And if you see this number, 90+% AI startup fail just with the first year. So this is statistics that should make every investor or entrepreneur to pay attention, not only from investment perspective, but from you as entrepreneur perspective. You have only 1 from 10 chance, if you're lucky enough, 1 from 10, to survive just in a few years. The real picture, this 90 plus, it's a little bit tricky because real picture, from what I heard from my colleagues who professionally doing the venture analysis, 97, 98% startups usually fail. 90 plus, this is very, very optimistic. So, and over this 90% of all AI startups fail within the next first year. So, with all of that investment money flowing, why this failure is so high? So let's touch it a little bit. Most common failure reasons is a poor product market fit. Poor product market fit means your product just not needed everyone, or not needed even nobody, to no one. And the evaluation or testing this idea from earliest stage is extremely important if you plan to launch any AI based or any product. Actually, it's not related only to UI. For venture or for investment or for new product development, we already touched on the previous lection. you should to have attraction from your customers. You should to be client driven. If client don't need your product, you should to know about that immediately, and probably you can save a huge amount of money and resources rather than trying to keep this dead horse running. And unsustainable compute cost. It's another important reason. When we talk about AI, it's all about computation. It's computational resources. It's not about the storage of the data. For example, let's take a YouTube project. It's all about store huge amount of data, video, movies, cartoons, whatever. So it's mostly for storage of the data. Facebook, again, it's mostly for storage of the data and then represent this data in a customer feed. But for AI, it's all about computation. You cannot do nothing without actively usage of computational resources. That's why NVIDIA company just having this huge growth for recent years, because almost all algorithms are optimized to use NVIDIA chips. I personally try to shift from NVIDIA to another chips. I try to use an Apple computers. I try to use something else, but the best results and best accelerators we now have only on NVIDIA side. That's why NVIDIA right now it's a monopolist actually, or global leader of all computational resources, and the major computational resources are driven by NVIDIA accelerators. What else? Notable for failures, for example, Ghost Autonomy. They raised about 250 millions, fail. Olive AI, they raised 800 millions with a 4 billions valuation, fail. And this list is literally endless, and each day several not hundreds, but tens of new startups that created during the last year added to this list of the companies that failed, that became to bankruptcy, or they just decided our product not fit the market, etc. And one of the another example, IBM start experimenting and delivering these AI tools many years ago, decade ago. I experiment with their Watson system, and on top of this Watson system, they build IBM Watson Health, and is perhaps the most expensive AI failure forever. For now, billions was invested over the decade, let's say, and it was dismantled in 2022 because doctors simply do not trust its recommendation. Why we can also we can only ask from the doctor side, but the reality is the huge name, huge brand with a huge trust, IBM, 100-year plus company history. They create the special product they created during the 10 years, but doctors still don't trust it. And the program it was just canceled because nobody used it. And another story from colleague. Their startup rise around, and they burned in about 5 millions just in 6 months because their infrastructure rely on a cloud computational cost. In cloud, you have a threat. It's easy came in, and it's hard or almost impossible to come out. If you build your all infrastructure components only on top of or around someone else vendor, around someone else data center, even as if it's popular cloud, you probably forever locked with this vendor. And if you do not calculate or you do not predict the computational costs for your AI models and AI tools, it's another story, and it's another reason why some projects fails. So be very careful with it. You should to calculate the cost of ownership of your project very before you start to serve real clients. Oh Jesus, we already have 45 minutes and I only have 9 slide. Right, let's go further. Yeah, these failures teach us that evaluation of AI venture requires both traditional business analysis and AI-specific considerations because of computational cost, because of regulation, because of multiple else reasons. So let me explain what does it mean. So the difference between traditional and AI-specific evaluation. Evaluation AI ventures is not about throwing out everything we know about startup evaluation. It's all about adding new layers of analysis. Think of it as a traditional due diligence plus AI-specific considerations. Traditional facilitators still matter, of course. Market size, team quality, business model, competitive landscape, etc. But you now should to keep in mind AI-specific additions like data strategy, model, defensibility, because model can give you garbage as output, and you cannot test it before you start processing real data. Synthetic data do not allow you to see how real quality model produce. Then regulatory and ethical considerations. Another thing like intersection is where the magic happen or where all things go wrong. Um, Again, just to save the time, I think all major key points is on the slide. I just don't want to read it. But for you, as for teachers, you should to keep in mind on this lower section. So AI ventures require traditional evaluation plus specialized data assessment, model sustainability, ethical consideration, etc. So it's not so easy comparing with other technology startups. Let's now see what you can use as a validation framework. The most expensive AI model in the world are worthless if no one wants to buy the solution. You can spend billions to train the model, but nobody use it, and you literally burn all your funds or all your research and all your time. So try to try to attract real users just from the day one. From our experience, from our perspective, when I actively try to earn some funds for my project, the tractions from users' feedbacks, client feedbacks was crucial for investors. They want to know, is it any room or space or interest to a product before they invest to someone or to something, to some project. So the market validation for AI ventures follows the same principles as any startup, but with AI specific twists. Again, problem first, not technology first approach. I already touched this point on a previous lection. We should to solve the client or customer problems. We should to know about this problem, not just invent the problems. We should to speak with our customers, validate demands for the outcome just from early beginning, not the technology itself. We don't need to test the technology. Technology can build pretty everything, but the demand of this technology is something that you need to discover. And the next very important thing, would customers pay for this solution? Because if it's available for free, fine. But if I need to pay any penny for some solutions, I start to think about that. That's why multiple products start from, let's say, to earn first customers for free. When it became popular, when it earned, I don't know, 1 million customers, they start to promote paid subscriptions or paid tool. They can lose a 90% of their audience, but the 10% This is the audience that really needs this technology and they're ready to pay for it. Brilliant. This is your customers. And I can't fit, of course, all best practice how to do that. It's a completely another story, and we are very limited with the time. And this slide is also a little bit corrected, so you should to keep it as a not single line. I cannot implement this as a circle. So you should to discover the market needs, the solution design, then you implement it in the technology, and then you check the value creation for a customer that provide you sustainable growth, and then you back to this circle again. So you should to continuously have this loop to keep on track, to keep deliver the best in class product or something that market the demands. The best in class product as well is not something that can be very popular on the market. As I said, market means money, and you can have a million customers that pay 0 penny for you. All right. Once you validated this market demand, the next question is whether AI provides the sustainable competitive advantages. And not all AI providers have these competitive advantages. And the question is, isn't does this company use AI, or but rather does AI create the mode that competitors easily can't or create or can't easily cross? And the data is actually modes. Exclusive access to unique, valuable data gives much more benefits to you as a company. So think about what is the source of your data, and if it's unique source of the data, you have much more benefits comparing with other competitors. Network effect, of course. AI gets better as more users engage. More data, more quality models, more better outputs, more happy clients. You should to compare with proprietary algorithms with on-the-shelf or open source models. Means your proprietary algorithm belong to you. This is your IP, but someone, of course, can replicate it when they're smart enough. Or you just take something available on the market, available for everyone. In this case, your replication became completely not a problem. It's just a measure of time. And of course, first mover advantages in specific verticals. Who start first probably stay first because they like create a demand or create new niche or new business verticals. It's very, very important from venture capitalist perspective, because you have sort of natural monopoly for such thing. Yeah, about the data, for example, the Tesla. Tesla, it's not a automotive company itself. Tesla actually make a lot of money to sell your data. I mean, data of the drivers, data of what they scan around the car when it's moving. If I'm not mistaken, one car produced 25 gigas of data per day. It's a huge amount of data that can be used for better development, better. I don't know why and where it can be used, but just keep in mind, Tesla earn a lot of data on top of the automotive itself. And even probably they earn more on the data than on the cars. I heard even such hypothesis. So
Pavlo, just stop. I just create new poll for you. Exclusive
yes,
access of unique tools in your company. We use usually and available, usual and available tools. We developed by yourselves such tools. We use tools which were developed personally for our company. Is it okay?
yes, of course.
Okay, sorry.
Yes. So, yeah, with all of that and understanding the defensibility leads us to a business models. Different AI business models create different types of competitive advantages or disadvantages. And let's review it. AI enables several distinct business models patterns, and each with a different scaling characteristics, defensibility potential, and risk profiles as well. Understanding these patterns helps you quickly categorize and evaluate you or any AI venture. And the key pillars is SaaS with the AI. It's when traditional software enhanced with the AI capabilities, and you use it like software as a service. It's hosted somewhere in the cloud. API platforms, it's sort of AI as a service for developers, and they show in a previous lection all of this vibe code assistance from Claude AI, Codex from ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, etc. This is a breed or sort of tools. Data-centric models, when you monetizing the data through AI insights. Then platform or marketplaces, also very popular tool from the early AI, AI API stage. If you remember, on a previous lection, I said we are on a stage where AI first. Before we was on a mobile first, and before mobile first, we have another one era. It called API first. Actually, everything that you consume in the computers right now having a sort of APIs behind. API, it's application programming interface that allows to communicate several programs, several servers or projects with each other via this API layer. And even part of products was hosted on these platforms or marketplace where API was an item that they sell. So API call cost 1 penny or 1 cent or 1 euro cent, whatever currency we use. Then another pillar, services and consulting. When AI enabled professional services, it can be a legal part, it can be, I don't know, health part, everything else that's related on your expertise or experience that you train or you feed to your model, to your tool solution. And the last one, the most complex one, is hardware enabled, when AI requires a specialized hardware or rely on a hardware that delivers some unique functionality that cannot be consumed from someone else. And as example, think of this as a like different place in the AI business strategy, and such well-known companies like Salesforce took the SaaS. Salesforce is a pure SaaS company. They name it like SaaS with AI, and they create um, Einstein, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, Einstein AI to their existing CRM platform, and they immediately dramatically boost the level of satisfaction of the customers. So the customers stay with the platform. They do not plan to jump to another CRM tool that potentially can be better than SaaS, because Salesforce is serving million companies right now. Migrating from CRM to another CRM, it's a big journey. And to keep their customers, Salesforce just create a tool that immediately activate a numbers of additional services on a current customer base, on the current customer data. They start produce a lot of predictions, forecasting, or segmenting the customer for several tires. This is a promising client. This is a outliners. We shouldn't spend the time for that for that group anymore, etc. So each model has a different economics, and the AI API platforms also can scale rapidly, but face with a high infrastructure cost. The SaaS model itself have they see their revenue have a much slower revenue generation. I mean growth as well, and it's slower than viral growth that happens with the ChatGPT, for example. And I was mistaken last session. ChatGPT earn 100 millions customers per first month, not 1 million per month, 100 millions. I just forget two zeros. So yes, with it, you can see, yeah.
Pavlo, we have answers. I can show.
Oh, it's very
Yes?
important. Yes.
Okay. Just wait a minute.
We
Yes.
use usually available tools. Yes, we develop tools. And that's why we use tools for developers. Yeah, that means mostly community and the business rely on the tools that exist on the market, and not everyone can create their own tools. But 20% is also not bad number. Not everyone, of course, have an ability or experience or even needs to create their own tools if it's already exist on the market. Very good numbers. Thank you. So let's continue because we are really out of time. Uh, yes, let's talk about SaaS model with AI. SaaS with AI is the most familiar business model for traditional investors because it's built on proven SaaS economics. We already well know how SaaS works. Now we just add AI component. So SaaS with the AI-enabled tools much more understandable for traditional investors. And key point here is recurring revenue with AI enhancements. It's with value proposition. The main challenge is the managing of AI computational cost at scale. We almost cannot predict how big it can be if we do not have attraction from the real clients. Synthetic data, as I said, or synthetic tests do not give you the clear picture how system can be used. Opportunity, higher customer lifetime values through the increased stickiness. So to keep client with you and do not allow him to jump to another solution is crucial and very important. Of course, we have a risks, and the AI costs actually and computational cost can erode all margin if it's not carefully managed. And I'll skip this interactive session and everything related to that because of timing. All right, let's go further. While SaaS adds AI to existing workflows, AI API platform also make AI as a core product, and let's discover that one. So API platform democratize AI by letting anyone, any developer, integrate sophisticated AI capabilities into their applications. And this model can easily and it can scale incredibly fast, but comes with unique challenges. And these challenges is developer-led growth and viral scaling potential not always works. In some cases, decision-making goes from the top, from business, not from developer side. Usage-based pricing creates revenue scalability from one perspective, but it can be tricky for a customer. For example, our own company, when we experimenting with autocoders, we pay for 1 million tokens, 15 euro or $15. I don't remember properly, but something like that. And if our agent eventually stuck in a dead loop, they continuously agents start continuously processing a huge amount of data without proper output, without attempt to stop this dead loop. And we once paid several hundred euros just in a day, and we cannot understand way and why we spend so much until we find one of the agent just stuck and just consume our tokens, means budgets. Yeah, it can also be related to high infrastructure costs and technical complexity. Not always we can rely on the cloud vendors on a cloud platform where we can rent GPUs as a service. In some cases, we need to host everything on the soil. Yeah, I already explained that in some countries it's just national regulator, and it's a millions and millions investments without any let's say guarantee of return of investments. Platform risk, of course, dependent on developers' ecosystem adoptions. takes time. It's not always, let's say, mature technology. It's not always having a backward compatibility, etc. And it's all, again, risks. What else? Yeah, I think we'll not stick with the slide for longer. Our next model flips to the equation of equation. So how companies can utilize AI capabilities to monetize data through AI. So it's a data-centric business models. And data-centric models represents the, let's say, AI flywheel in action. More users generate more data, which improve AI models, which attract more users. When it works, it creates incredibly strong competitive modes. In this case, we can have network effects through data accumulation. AI models can improve with the scale, not degrade, but improve. But we have enough high barriers on entry level. It's demand much more resources, and the most challenge it's bootstrapping of initial data and the user base. So it's not a chicken egg problem, but something close to that. What else we can say here? Like Netflix recommendation engine works the way when every movie you watch, rate or skip, teach AI system of Netflix about the viewer preferences. And this new streaming services can't replicate this approach because they do not know what exactly customer watched before, what is a portrait of this customer. So they need to train just from the beginning. So the output of the new services without such knowledge about client profile data provide much weaker results comparing with the Netflix, right? All right, let's go further. And it's a platform and marketplace models that combine data advantages with network effect to create powerful AI-driven businesses. Platform and marketplaces models is enhanced that enhanced with the AI represents some of the most valuable companies in the world. AI doesn't just facilitate the transactions; it creates the better matches. It's increase engagement, and it's altogether drives grow. And the key points here is a multi-sided networks effects amplified by AI. AI improves the matching, ranking, and recommendations. Winner take all dynamics of in many markets, but challenge here you should to balancing between the multiple stakeholder interests. We can't have a one size fit all, right? We should to continuously adopt and adjust personally per each customer, per each needs. And here we have even a term, hyper personalization. This is what AI gives us as a platform owners to serve the customer needs as better as possible, as best as possible. Again, the slide is a little bit out of frame, but you can research it further. Again, we skip interactive, and now let's understand the major business models, and let's look how to assess whether any AI ventures can actually scale. Scalability is the keystone, of course, here. And scalability in AI ventures isn't just something about handling more users. It's about whether the business model, technology, and unique economics all together improve or at least remain stable as the company grows. And the key points here is a technical scalability. Can your AI system handle 100 time X, I mean 200 time more current load? If not, you should to keep in mind that you should to be ready for that. And of course, as I explained on a previous lecture, scale up, scale down, it should to be equal. A business model scalability. Do the unit economic improve the scale, or is it improve? Is it growth at all or not? The market scalability. Some markets is a pretty limited, and you just cannot physically jump over your customer group because it's limited. Like in a fintech, we have thousands of bank, not hundreds of thousands of the bank, and several tens of thousands of financial institutions. We doesn't have a million financial institutions, and this is our boundaries. This is our limits. And in AI as well, if Netflix, it's potentially can be used by anyone, by 4 billion internet customers, or even 5 already from the latest calculation. But we cannot have a 1 million financial institutions if we focus it in a fintech. But if it's a fintech that focuses on a customer, not on a bank, but on a customer of the bank, you potentially can have billions of customers, of course. And what else we have here? Organizational scalability as well, of course. All products built by humans, by teams, and while you're a small team and you have your own culture, for 10 persons it works well, for 20 persons it can works well. But if you have 200 persons, the same culture cannot work already, or you should to adjust or adopt it somehow. Otherwise, you lose the moment, you lose the control, you lose the vibe, let's say, or the major idea of your projects. And you also should, as a business owner, should to care about that. Again, we skip interactive, and for the next slide, scalability. To address the scalability assessment leads directly to the unit economics. It's a mathematics that determine where AI venture can be profitable at scale, and without such formulas, no serious investor without this unit economy or discovering how this unit economy do not invest. And actually such research from venture capitalists, and even before the due diligence, can take months or even years. So it's not an easy ride. Even with this hype, just be prepared for a month or even year of discussion to earn some funds. And with these funds, you also should to keep in mind, if you search for something less than 1 million, it's better to address to grant to angel investors or to friends and family, because the cost of deal, cost of due diligence, and all legal stuff when someone want to invest you can be much higher than amount of money that you try to raise. So keep in mind, if you need less than 1 million, even don't touch venture capitalists. Of course, there is a venture firms that invest with a small check, but most of them starts from 2 millions, 5 millions, 10 millions plus. All right, so with this unit economics, AI ventures can be tricky, and because AI introduce pretty variable costs that traditional software doesn't have. And every AI prediction or generation has computational costs. As I said before, you should continuously keep in mind how much it costs to serve client requests. And the key points here, you should to keep in mind the customer acquisition costs, compare it with the lifetime value that a customer can bring you. If you need to spend $100 to attract one customer, and you return this $100, I don't know, in a 3 or in a 5 years, means something wrong with your model. You should to spend less to attract the customer and return these funds that you spent to attract this customer as fast as possible. AI specific cost, as I already said, is all about computational, data storage, model trains. It's all costs a huge amount of money. Margin dynamics as well. Margin can move, can shift based on a market demand, based on what your competitors do, etc. So you also should to be prepared to be flexible. Again, Understanding this unit economics at scale lead us to global expansion strategies because AI venture often needs a global scale to achieve optimal economics, not only for certain regions. And now let's review what we have on our global expansion strategies. And oh, part of the slide is corrupted as well. Sorry for that. So AI venture face unique opportunities and challenges in global expansions, and the technologies can scale across the borders instantly, but regulations, data sovereignty, cultural preferences create a complex strategy decisions. It's not easy to use a product that just have an erotic rocket launch in US to Europe. For example, in Europe, we have this GDPR, General Data Protective Directive, that allows to customers to control their data. And as example, the French-based medical firm that builds a product across GDPR, across the regulator, start to serve the hospitals and clients, and the other competitive company that do the same product but from US, they can't start to operate on the Europe market because they cannot follow GDPR technically. They design this system in a way when they just cannot erase customer data without damaging the system consistency. So always keep that in mind as well. And let's examine other regional differences more closely. Let's start with the U.S. market. And U.S. market offers the largest unified opportunity for AI ventures, but success requires understanding both advantages and the intents of competitive dynamics. U.S. market is is the most of competitive side. Advantages of U.S. market: unified regulatory environment, pretty clear, pretty open, with less limitation, etc. Europe even cannot fight, not fight, but to be compared with that. Abundant of capital, a lot of early adopters, a lot of people with money that ready to try to invest, and US itself, it's a market where all initiative actually started from. Of course, there is a challenges. It's a much more competitive market where you, if you have these benefits from this a very comfortable business environment, anyone else can benefit from it. So it's a very competitive, and all benefits that available to you belong to your competitors. So it's a much higher also customer acquisition cost that we touched before, more faster and rapid innovation cycle. So if you something developed during the several years, be sure on the next year your program or your product plan is obsolete because someone already released something that far from you. So long-term innovation cycle, like in the Europe, is not applicable for US. In the US, everything is changing dramatically fast. Success factor, of course, here is a time to market or speed to market, strong differentiation, and scalable business models. Again, I will not read the slide. You will investigate it by yourself. Let's jump to Europe. European market presents a completely different strategic landscape. And Europe offers AI ventures a unique proposition, actually, slower down growth, but potentially stronger competitive modes through the regulatory and compliance and trust first business models. So if in US you can do whatever you want, nobody will touch you until you really do weird things. In Europe, everything is around regulation, but it gives you another one benefit. If you build your product around this regulation, your competitors from US never touch your part of pie, right? So we also have some challenges like market fragmentation. Euro Union have 27 countries. It's 27 languages, and the customers prefer to consume the services not on English. They prefer to use it on a local or native language, and it's much harder to support than only one single language like English for everyone. Trust advantage: European companies often win privacy and ethical AI because they start to build the product with keeping in mind this privacy and ethical from the beginning. Europe have much slower adoption but higher customer loyalty. This is also a very important key point. And now let's jump to Asian market. Oh, we already are 20 minutes out of time. Sorry for that. So Asian market presents perhaps probably most complex, but potentially most rewarding expansion opportunity. And Asian markets offer the largest user base, as I said before, and the fastest digital adoption rates globally. But the success rates, of course, require a deep localization and navigation to complex regulatory environments. Asia do not speak on English. Of course, part of the population speak on English, but the most of them do not speak English. If in Europe it's like English, almost second language for most population, we even don't touch US, UK, but Africa mostly speak on French. Middle East mostly speak Arabic. Pacific speak on a multiple languages. So it also can be a challenge for you. But with from the scale perspective, massive scale for China, 1.5 billion, India 1. China 1.4, India 1.5, and Southeast Asia together 650 million users. Altogether, it's a 3.5 billion users, almost half of population. And most of them have a mobile-first adoption patterns. So your product must be available on a mobile first, not on a computer. A government have some strategic priorities to support AI, localization requirements, language, culture, even design and coloring. You probably, if you work with Asian countries or even with India, the representation of the UI interfaces, even coloring scheme, must be different. Europe, US prefer something simple, straight, just big buttons here and here and the text box. Asia and India, they love to make things like beautiful, more colors, more icons, more graphic elements. It's a part of their identity. It's part of their culture, and you should to keep in mind if you want to address this product for certain ethical or culture group. And of course, regulatory in some countries, as I said, in the Middle East, demand to keep the data on the soil. You do not allow to use the clouds, especially it's a finance services or something related to biometric, etc. So you should be aware. And now let's take a look on this market dynamics from practical perspective, from real case study. When OpenAI represents probably the most successful AI venture scaling story of all time. ChatGPT, as I said, reached 100 million just in 2 months, faster than any company in history. But this success wasn't accidental. They earn huge support and funds to build the product for several years without any profit. And you even probably heard about a lot of scandal when Elon Musk invests in OpenAI first, then he withdraw from this company. Now he competed with OpenAI with his Grok network, Grok model, etc. But it's a good example when they have 1 million, 100 millions just in 60 days, 80 billions valuation just in several years, API platform serving thousands or hundreds of thousands of developers and multiple businesses or services that we consume as a AI is actually having a ChatGPT as a backend, and global expansions in the 160 countries just in a few years. It's just something abnormal. It's huge. And they scaling strategy combine multiple approach. They launch it with a customer product first, ChatGPT Classic, then build brand awareness, then they start to monetize enterprise subscriptions and API access. So they build several monetization channels oriented for different groups. Customers, when they start to use this ChatGPT for free, then they're ready to pay $20 per month, and it's a comfortable price for them. But enterprise consume much more. They need more context windows. They need APIs. They need that, and that. So ChatGPT also start to provide such tools for them. And of course, and the strategic partnership with Microsoft, it was not just funding. It was an infrastructure. Of course, their Azure enterprise sales channels and the regulatory expertise that Microsoft have that like nobody else. All right. I think I skip this UI pass, and let's take a look for risk assessment and due diligence because we're out of time. AI venture face traditional startup risk, of course, plus AI specific risk that can let's say blindside even experienced investors, and the proper due diligence requires evaluating of both categories systematically. Traditional risks for them, it's a market competition, team, financial. A lot of projects, as I say, just the burn of all money just in the first year and then they closed. AI specific risks like data quality, model biases, regulatory, computational costs, technical risk like performance degradation, security vulnerabilities, ethical risks, again, biases, privacy, misuse potential, etc. It's all what investors like right now keep in mind. And if you do not address these answers to venture investor, you probably have a problem to rise round without clear addressing of how you will solve all of these potential risks. And sorry. Yes, and we actually almost finished. All this insight that I give you today build on a solid research. Of course, I have of 10 years of experience with a company that try to launch, to earn or this round, to rise the round. Of course, my main experience in a fintech, but I have a lot of experience with a fintech plus AI. As I said, it's predictions models, anti-fraud models, companies that do the customer segmentation or suggestion of the products that they need to them, credit scoring, loan scoring, a lot of services that work with your portfolio. I mean, investment papers or your investments in an IPO or on a stock markets, etc. So this is already happened. This is already huge, and we still have a huge opportunity for jumping this train. We can benefit a lot from the opportunities if we jump in this train, because currently the most hottest period for AI. Just to finalize, one of my colleague, Denis Dolgopolov, pretty well-known name from venture capitalist space, create this portal Unicorn Nests when they manually collecting from multiple resources, distributed resources and fragmented data, the huge database of all investors, angel investors, corporate investors, small check investors, etc. Unfortunately, their work was interrupted with the Russian invasion in Ukraine, but the database still here, still works. And I just spoke with Denis a couple hours before this presentation. He confirmed the project is alive, and they even do the refactoring and upgrading of this product. As you can see, they have 42,000 of investors. 42,000. I don't know any other base that have such much investors. So if you apply or your project apply to this database, you can have an access to this data, and it save you dramatically huge amount of resources for contacting, for filtering. They even can, let's say, review your project and advise you for whom you should to go. Depends on your stage, on your product, etc., etc. I'm done. It was, sorry, I spent more than 30 minutes over our time frame for today, and I don't know, do we have enough room or resources for question and answers? If someone still survive on this meeting, I'm happy to continue, but again, it depends.
So thank you, Pavlo, and we have a few questions for you. Actually, all participants, welcome. You are welcome to ask questions. Just right hand, online hand, but you will be in line because we have 4 questions in our chat. You can go to the chat, Pavlo. For example, we have the first questions. What do you mean by the selling data in Tesla?
All right. Tesla collecting data. This data is how a driver behave, where the car is appear, how often this car is charged, what car see around the road when it goes, etc., etc. So machine itself, not machine, car itself generate some data that can be bought by someone else. I even cannot name you the exact verticals or pillars or businesses that interested in this data, but this data is demand from the Tesla, and Tesla sell it. So if you want to dive deeper, you can investigate it by your own, but keep in mind, Tesla sell the data that produced by Tesla cars. As well as a Facebook do, as well as a Google do. If you set up on your phone any mobile game that marked for free, when you install this game, they show you the consent screen, and if you open details of this consent, you can see in about hundreds of companies that you allow to share your data. When my kids install new game, I continuously disable all of these collection points, but each program that you have in your phone shares the data. And Tesla, partly it's a computer, so it collects the data and it shares the data. Sorry, I don't hear you, Daria. You're on mute.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Pavlo. We have another question from Vitaly Kobets. Vitaly, just turn on your microphone and you can comment your question. Under what conditions could artificial intelligence become a new bubble for investors, as was the case with the dot-com crisis?
Yes, we have a huge chance for this bubble. Each time when new technology are so popular that became some buzzwords, it always have conditions to become a bubble. We see that on the .com side. We see that when we have this Web 0.2, what is actually was nothing, just improvement of HTML and the interactive services, not a static web pages. Then we have the same bubble with the blockchain, when everyone try to explain us everything would be on a blockchain soon, but 10 years after, not everything, literally far from everything is on a blockchain. Same would be with the AI. As I said, it grows, then it stopped, then it goes down, and it have a sort of plateau, and it goes down after. And the next big thing, if you're asking about it, it would be a quantum computing or quantum technologies. So if you think you cannot, you can't jump in a AI train because it's too late, you can have a chance to jump in a quantum train that's just beginning.
And one more question from Vitaly. Have you considered the freemium business model for AI products?
Yes, it's when you provide the AI service to your customer, but you sell the data that you produce or you get from these customers. For example, you can sell uh, the client demand or client chat or results or summarization of the chat to someone who can benefit from it. I cannot just from the mind invent or explain you how what it can be. But let's say 1,000 persons per day ask ChatGPT where I can, I don't know, buy a bike. Does it mean someone who want to sell the bikes can use this data and analyze where this customers from? What is their target group? I mean, age group, or this is bikes for kids or for someone else. So selling such information that you share in the chat GPT can be someone useful to make decision, strategic decision. We go into this country and we start to sell vapes there. Or no, in this country we will sell bikes, or in this country we will sell something else like legal services, etc. So freemium exists in AI products as well. It's already exists. But if you do not pay for something, means you don't know when, how, and how much you pay for that, or you are as a product, you are a product. Your data, your profile is sold by a service owner to someone else.
Thank you. Thank you for your very deep answers.
Thank you.
So, Pavlo, we have any other questions?
Yes.
Not one more, not only one. Okay, let's go. How sensitive is the venture capital market to military events?
All right. Very sensitive because military have their own culture. Let's say it's not open, it's not announced. They try to keep silent, they try to not announce what they are doing. If in a traditional venture capitalism way they try to scream about what they do to everyone, as louder their scream, as more waves they gain, there's more attraction to the product. With Miltech it's completely opposite. Miltech is closed, it's silent, and you probably never know what exactly they develop until it's hit someone, or or even you. It depends on what position you are. So Miltech, it's a standalone investment thing, and it's very popular and active right now in the Ukraine. You understand why, but the strategy of Miltech is completely different.
Thank you, Pavlo. Let's go. A few feedbacks for you. Pavlo, thanks a lot for an amazing, useful presentation. Thanks, very useful, very interesting. Thanks. Thank you very much for your significant input into the course with your work, knowledge, and useful information. In one presentation, it's amazing. Thank you. Thanks for sharing really useful presentations. So, question. We saw information that investments in artificial intelligence is growing every year. So, as I assume it is a good investment, how can I invest in AI today? Easiest ways, crypto or something else? Thank you for your answer.
All right. If you want to invest legally, never use crypto as an investment tool, because you never can prove or return your investment, and in some countries it's a criminal. If you want to invest, you can use an investment pools when this investor pools aggregate the funds from multiple agent investors or individual investors, and the special management company uses funds to invest in something. Of course, you as a person can invest in some companies and get some share from them. Probably you will not get any key position or major part, but with the micro investment, you can support promising technologies. And when they start to rise around, for example, on a stage A, you can very profitably exit the company from the company. If you invest 100 and the company try to earn 10 millions or 100 millions in the next years, your share can have a 100 times 100 time multiplicator. And I also saw such situation when someone invests several thousand on the early stage on the seed round, and when the company grows, it was a demand from investors. You should to get rid of other personal investors just to make management of the companies easier, because as more investors in the company, as more shares between different owners, as a harder to manage, is hard to have an let's say common sense. What is the strategy of our company? Do we spend our profit to pay let's say dividends, or we should reinvest it, or we should do something else? So when a strategic investor arrive, all minor investors usually pushed out from the company, but with a significant multiplicator of investment. So just try to to find this angel investors pool, investigate this unicorn nests database. They have links for such type of investors or groups of investors where you can become one of the member of such groups.
Thank you, Pavlo. Let's go to the another question from Tatiana. In a world where artificial intelligence automates more and more tasks, what do you think would be the one skill that remain uniquely human and irreplaceable?
To be honest, I don't know. I have several suggestions before, but with the last years, it's changed so dramatically fast. We already have a tool that generate the movies, playing the music. I don't even touch something related to text processing. So AI potentially, or a machine learning tools can affect literally everywhere. We can compare it with the internet or computers era. I heard on the same on that moment the same questions. Can you predict the area where computers will not used, and this never affect to the one or another job or professional skills market? The honest answer, I don't know. Probably the more honest answer, nobody know. We are on a stage when everything changed so dramatically fast. We need, actually, from my perspective, I think we need to stop and 1 or 2 years do nothing, actually, just to try to adopt and check what we get already on our hands. I just physically, personally, I cannot trace and track everything what's going on because it's too much. Too much. We just can't sit in calm and think where it goes, where it leads to, what is a long-term effect about all of these innovations. Now, we are in a dangerous position and nobody can predict where it leads us. Of course, we have scenarios from futurologists, nice scenario, medium scenario, worst case scenario, Terminators, Skynets, and other sci-fi stuff. Of course, everything can happen, but nobody can tell you exactly. So I cannot bet on nothing. I cannot name any position and say this is never be changed. I know one, probably to be a mom. Nobody can replace the mom, and this is a joke or parenting. This is a joke which is with you during all your life cycle, if you plan or if you have the kids. Anything else, I cannot tell you.
Thank you, Pavlo. The other questions, could you describe a few examples of successful AI-driven startups in education?
Of course,
Thank
Grammarly. Grammarly. It's a perfect tool that allowed you to write texts more properly, more natural for certain language, etc. And I use this Grammarly example in my presentation, and several other tools. I just cannot remember just right now from the from my mind, but Grammarly I use each single day in each case when I start to write something. This driver or this plugins of Grammarly helps me to adopt my text, to see, to look, to hear more properly, especially if I use not native language.
Actually, do you know, Pavlo, that Ukrainian teachers from Hey, I mean, just from universities, have an premium access free. It's
I would
just
like to
memorandum between universities and Ministry of Education and Grammar. So they use premium access free. So let's go. Thanks for so interesting informations. We have two more questions. With the rise of AI-powered large language models and smart devices, some students are finding new ways to cheat on exams. Do you think technology is making academic integrity harder to enforce, or is it simply evolving the way we access knowledge?
I think it's evolving because you always can have tasks or test cases for students where they just cannot cheat. Of course, if they answer on the tests remotely, they can have on a second screen and continuously feed the second screen with the questions and get an answers to cheat and get better marks. That's mean education process and the check of this education process must change their self and get out from the tests to something more practical that cannot be replaced or let's say mm, uh, engaged with the AI tool. We cannot prohibit to use AI tool. Before it was a prohibition to use an internet when you prepare your essays, right? And now all students in elections use their own computers, access to internet, and it's actually stupid to not allow them to do that. In some exams, like IELTS, for example, you know this example, this IELTS, it's a test for English. You visit this room, you give all your devices in special boxes, and you just don't have it during the next 2-3 hours. In this case, any AI cannot help you. But in some cases, we should to use and even force students to use AI to make their education process better. And of course, education process also under huge shift with all of these tools.
Thank you, Pavlo. We have long questions, so I try to read slowly. Good day, Pavel. Thank you for your interesting lecture. At the beginning of your lecture, you touched upon the issue of the influence of artificial intelligence in the courts. Over the past 10 years, there has been a lot of American funding, USAID, in the judicial system of Ukraine. Cassation courts were liquidated, New ones were added. The High Court of Intellectual Property and the High Anti-Corruption Court, as well as directly in the development of artificial intelligence, when passing entrance exams to become a judge. Question. On your opinion, why, with such a development of the judicial system in Ukraine and the involvement of artificial intelligence, has case law, прецедентное право, not yet been introduced in Ukraine as in USA?
Huge topic, very complex question. I just don't want to say something that I am not experienced yet, or I did not touch it by myself. I prefer to not answer on this question just because I don't want to say something just to say something. I don't have enough experience. I don't have enough skills to answer on this question. Sorry for that.
Thank you, Pavlo. One feedback, amazing feedback for you. Thank you, Pavlo, for the incredibly interesting information and expert opinion. Truly valuable. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
we have one more feedback. I do not understand for whom it, about to be a mom, but we have it. Yeah.
I see. I think it's this hearts. It's mean love about love to hear about to be a mom, but probably.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for this Friday. We have hard Friday with you today because we have 2 info sessions, but I think you get a new information in the morning and right now with Pavlo after afternoon. So thank you again for it. Have a good weekends, and we will meet with you on Monday. I will train you. Just do not forget about this info session, because you see I will be moderate and training one time, and I'm not sure that I will have an opportunity to admit at once. So I just kindly ask you to be in time. So again, Pavlo, it is really interesting information from you, and I think it's very interesting for business and for educators, and a lot of educators have guest speakers in their universities. And I have one more question from a special personal to me, and I should to ask you, could our educators invite you to explain business models as you presented us today in their universities for students?
Yes, of course, of course. We just really limited in time today. For such courses for venture, this my colleague Denis Dovgopoli, author of Unicorn Nest, he spent 2-3 days courses just to explain how venture investment works and what projects should to be prepared. It's just impossible to fit everything in 1 hour. But I'm happy to extend it and touch only the specific topics from the current presentation. No problem.
Thank you, Pavlo, again. Thank all participants. So see you Monday. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Have a nice day.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you very
Have a
much.
nice day.
Thank you.
See you. Bye.
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 Bye.